Hello and welcome to an episode of Speed Reviews. This is a series I do on my channel. I try to do it about once a month-ish, where after I've tested a whole batch of products that were new to my collection, I've used them with different applications, different ways, etc. I have my full and final thoughts on them, and this is a good way for me to follow up with like my first impressions videos and give you my thoughts. So that's what I'm going to do today. I will link these products down below in the description box. I also will list everything that is on my face, probably in a pinned comment. I did not film this look. I'm actually heading out the door after this to go judge and perform at my dance partner's studio showcase. That's why I'm a little more zhuzhed up than usual. But I am wearing the DD Signature Drops of Fantasy eyeshadow palette on my eyes. Stunning, stunning, stunning. So let's get to reviewing some new products to my collection. How I do this is I break it down into 4 categories and I group the products into those categories. So the top category is yes, yes, yes. These are products that I really enjoy, I really am loving, I've been reaching for constantly, and I definitely recommend them. The next category is good, but not great. And these are things that are like, I'm enjoying them, but they're not like making the top category. There may be 1 or 2 things about them, a little caveat, that's not making them be my absolute favorites, but they could work for someone else with different preferences. The third category is meh. And these are products that are just okay. I definitely won't be repurchasing them. I might not even finish using them. I don't know, they're not awful products, but they're just not for me. And then the fourth and final product category is it's gonna be a no for me, dog.
It's definitely a no for me, dog. The voice is just not.
And these are products I don't recommend. These are products that I think are bad, that I don't want them in my collection anymore, and I'm probably just gonna get rid of them, absolutely, because when you're seeing this, I'm about to move, so they're not coming with me to the new house. Now, of course, this is all based on my own preference, my own opinion, my own experience. If you have different opinions than me, that is totally fine. Let me know your thoughts on any of the products that I'm talking about down in the comments. And yeah, take this with a grain of salt. I try to explain why I like or dislike something based on my preferences, and that may or may not align with yours. I will try to remember to let you know which ones I got in PR, but whenever I put up the close-ups and the swatches, I will put the letters PR in the corner, and I also mark the products I got in PR in the description box with an asterisk. I'm not going in any particular order here. I'm just kind of going and grabbing as I go. So in the top category, yes, yes, yes. These are the products I want to talk about. The first one is I got one of the Rare Beauty matte bouncy blushes, and this one is in the shade Alive. First of all, love the packaging. It is like a kind of frosted plastic acrylic packaging. It's very satisfying. And this color is so beautiful. I actually brought this traveling with me. It was the only blush that I brought traveling with me when I went to a dance competition, and then I went straight to the beach. And this color, first of all, I love a warm blush. So this color was something I was very excited about. But when I got it and looked at it in person, I was like, I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about this. Like, this is kind of bright. I'm not sure how it's gonna look on my skin tone, but it is so customizable in terms of pigment level. I can really just go in haphazardly and it doesn't look like I have clown cheeks, but you can build it up. It is also such a unique texture. It actually reminds me exactly of, I don't know if you ever used these products. I used to have quite a few of them. I don't think they exist anymore, but they were from J Cat Beauty. They were the blush mallows. Almost the exact same, or not almost, to me it feels like the exact same texture. It's not quite putty, but it feels creamy, but it's pretty hard pressed. I don't like to necessarily compare it to the ColourPop Super Shocks because those are not super hard pressed, like they are very squishy. This one is a very hard pressed kind of cream, velvety cream texture, but ends up looking like a powder blush on the cheek. So very much loving it. It definitely has a matte finish without being dry or dusty, and the shade Alive is stunning. Another blush that I've been loving, and this is one I've been wanting to add to my collection for a really long time, and I finally bit the bullet during the last Sephora sale, and I purchased one of the Fenty Beauty Fenty Cheek Suede Powder Blush. This is in the shade Sundress Season. First of all, I really like this packaging. It's really fun. The color, again, a really warm, but this is more like peachy blush, and it is called a suede blush, and I would definitely describe it as that. Very soft focus on the face. Again, customizable in terms of the pigment. I would say it's pretty lightly pigmented at first, but I am able to build it up to what I want. And that is what I'm looking for in blushes nowadays. Like, I don't love an overly pigmented blush where I have to be overly careful because it can get real scary real quick. It can ruin a look real quick if you like go in a little too heavy with a cheek product that you weren't expecting to be so pigmented. So I appreciate the pigment level on this. The color is so beautiful. It's like an apricot with kind of a dusty undertone. It is beautiful, no shimmer, but not flat matte, really stunning, really nice. This face palette from Gourmand Girls, I've really been enjoying. Again, so much, kind of like what I said about the Rare Beauty. When I first looked at this, I was like, I don't know if these shades are gonna work on me. They're kind of, I don't wanna say strange, but they're very unique. Especially these kind of purpley, pinky blushes, these kind of darker looking highlights. This blush is so one of my favorite blushes I've like discovered lately. It is the most beautiful peach, but it's such an interesting peach. And again, same thing I've said about these other two blushes. The pigment level is definitely more on the buildable side, which I truly appreciate. It's not overly pigmented. I love mixing these two together when I'm wearing a cool toned look. They are matte blushes, but they don't look dusty. They're just really, really easy to blend, easy to build up, easy to work with. All three of these highlights work for me. This one is so beautiful. It's like an iridescent kind of like green. Absolutely gorgeous. And these two work on me as well, even though they might look like they don't. I just use a fluffy brush and I spray my face with setting spray just to catch any of that like kind of glitter particle. They definitely are like not a chunky glitter, but they're not like an ultra smooth type of look, but they do have a transparent base. So they do work on me. And I've been really reaching for this a lot more than I thought I was going to. Next up, I have the Benefit Hula Wave. This is their bronzing balm. I have mine in the shade Original. For years, I was a Hula bronzer stan. Do people say that anymore? Stan? There's brush hairs in here. Let me get those out of here. I did the best I can. Sorry. But anyway, I was a regular Hula bronzer fan for years. I really, really enjoy the color of Original. It works really well for me because I do really love a neutral bronzer. So when I saw they were coming out with a cream bronzer version, I was really excited about it. And it's kind of what I've been saying. It's very buildable. It's very blendable, not overly emollient, but not super duper duper stiff. But I would say it's a little bit more leaning on the stiff side. It's not overly dewy. It's not sparkly. It just adds a really pretty kind of sheer gel-like type of formula, which is what I always prefer with my cream bronzers. I don't want it to be super opaque, but of course I don't want to have to sit there and build it up for ages for it to show up on me. It is just a really easy to blend, kind of middle in terms of emollient, maybe a little more on the stiff side balm. I love this color. It is definitely more neutral. It works for me right now. It's still gonna work for me as my tan fades. And it is just a stunning formula. Really, really recommend it. The last cheek product I wanna talk about is this one from Lethal Cosmetics. This is something that I don't know that I'm really reaching for it all the time, but I am actually very impressed with how unique this is in my collection. So this is from their Adventure Time collection, like I just said. This is the Lady Rainicorn highlighter. This one I did receive in PR, and the Gourmand Girls face palette I received in PR. The other things I bought myself. And this is a rainbow highlighter. I love clear acrylic packaging. And it is a truly, it's hard to see on camera, but it is a rainbow highlighter. Now there are stripes in the pan. So you could like use your finger and then I don't do that. I just mix it together, but I can still see the rainbow effect even when I mix it together. And that's what I think is so fun about this. I am able to get like a rainbow-esque highlighter and not having to be so like precise with the stripes. It's just a really fun effect. I traveled with this when I did my dance competition. I wore this and I thought it was just a fun way to have some color like on the dance floor, and it has a transparent base. It's not overly chunky, but it does have a shimmer to it because it has a transparent base. But a stunning rainbow highlighter if you're looking for one, something like that where you're like, I don't want to be too precise and have to do a stripe. I just want to swirl it together and get a rainbow effect. This is a really, really nice one. I have to throw this in because I've been really enjoying it, and I've already talked about the Summer Fridays lip butter balms, that's what they're called. I have a few of them and I bought their birthday cake one. I just have to put this in my favorites because honestly, it smells so good. It smells like funfetti cake and it's delicious. And The thing I like about the lip butter bombs from Summer Fridays is the texture and the feel on the lips is super plush, but it does look like a lip product. It does give a lot of shine, a lot of gloss, and they have tints. Like this one definitely looks pink on the lips, like a frosty pink, but of course you can customize how much of that comes through based on how much you put on your lips. I have the iced coffee one that definitely looks like a milky brown, and so I appreciate that. I don't love when these products all look the same. You can really get a tint to your lips, so I enjoy throwing one of these in my purse to have as like my reapplying lip product throughout the day when I want color to show through. And their smells are really good. I do prefer this one to the iced coffee one. I do like the iced coffee one, but I think the iced coffee one is very strongly scented. I am very sensitive to scents though, so maybe that's why, but this one, so good. I don't even know if it's available anymore because it was limited edition, but I've been enjoying it a lot. This was something that I had mentioned during my best and worst products of the year so far video, and I was saying I'm still testing it, but I don't think it's going to be a favorite, and I'm not sure, blah, blah. Listen, I've been testing it now for a long time, and I keep reaching for it, and I really enjoy how it looks, and there's no reason for me not to put it in the top category because it is so good. I've been, like I said, reaching for it almost every single day, and that is the Morphe Wake Up Artist Under Eye Correcting Concealer. I have mine in the shade Sand 5W. This concealer is phenomenal. It's really good, and I was thinking of why I wouldn't put this in the top because I actually feel like this is my current favorite concealer in my collection right now. It's above the Natasha Denona concealer, which I really enjoy. It's above, I love the one from Joe Beauty, but I don't like to talk about it because the shade range is god awful. So this is checking all the boxes for me. The component is really nice. All of these new Morphe products that are coming out nowadays are so nice. The applicator is perfect. You don't need a lot of product. Sometimes I do 2 dots under each eye and it's actually too much. So it is a very thin formula. It blends out really nicely. I would say this gives about medium coverage, and the color Sand 5W is perfect for me right now. It's not overly brightening. I am wearing it under my eyes. It's not overly brightening under my eyes, but it is a really, really good color for me. Blendability is great. Coverage is great. It lasts pretty well. I am almost 39. I do work in customer service. I'm smiling a lot. Yeah, yeah. And so I do get some creasing no matter what concealer I use. Now, of course, some concealers crease more than others. This one I'd say creases less than most concealers on me. So I've really been enjoying it. I would say it gives more of a soft matte finish. It's not super hydrating, but it's not drying out your under eyes like Tarte Shape Tape or something like that. So yeah, this is a really good one. Very affordable. I've been really impressed with Morphe lately, and I've been reaching for this concealer pretty much every day that I'm doing my makeup. I have a couple of eye products to talk about, and I want to talk about the Urban Decay Naked Eyeshadow Sticks. They sent these to me in PR, and honestly, I'm really impressed with these. They're eyeshadow sticks, okay? They're nothing revolutionary, but I have to put these in the top category because I have been reaching for them a lot. And the couple that I've been reaching for the most is Top Off. This is a shimmery champagne. I keep this in my top drawer for when I'm using a palette that doesn't have an inner corner highlight and I want a shimmery inner corner highlight. I just take it out, pop it in the inner corner, I'm good to go. It's really nice. It's very easy to work with, easy to use. There are some that are matte and some that are metallic. I did do an Instagram reel using these in conjunction with a couple of mattes from the Urban Decay Naked palette. And this one in the shade Senescent, which is a warm matte brown. I've been using this on my lower lash line, kind of in my waterline and smudging onto my lower lash line as a quick, if I'm doing an eyeshadow look and I just want to blend something on my lower lash line. I've been reaching for this one a lot, but I really appreciate having these. I will say I don't really like to use matte eyeshadow sticks in the crease. I find that my eyelids are just not super tight that it's easy to blend that way, but I do really like using matte eyeshadow sticks, just like how I said, on my lower lash line, maybe using it as kind of smudging on my upper lash line. But the metallic shades in this are really pretty. They're not super sparkly, they're not multi-chromes, they're just a really pretty standard shimmer formula, which I appreciate. I like a standard shimmer, especially when it comes to neutrals. I think there's something understated and really beautiful about it. Super quick, several different depths and undertones. I really like these. I've been reaching for them a lot more than I thought I would. Usually with speed reviews, I don't include eyeshadow palettes because I do a separate video ranking eyeshadow palettes every month. But I am gonna include an eyeshadow palette in this because I don't think it really is fair for me to rank this against other eyeshadow palettes that are coming out because I don't feel like it's like apples and oranges, comparing apples and oranges. So I wanted to put this here. I actually bought the Natasha Denona Mini Eye Sculpt palette. I bought this I think during the Sephora sale or during an Ulta sale or something. Originally when this came out, I thought that there were cream to powders in this because she's calling some of her new mattes like creamy mattes. And when I heard that, I thought, oh, that's cream to powder. I don't like the cream to powder formula from Natasha Denona. And especially if there's only 5 shades, I don't want it. But I am so glad I picked this up. Again, took this traveling. Again, reaching for this all the time when I want to maybe use like one of the Urban Decay eyeshadow sticks on my lid, or a single ColourPop Super Shock on the lid, or a single shadow for my collection. This is giving me some like mattes to build my look out with and to really like have fun with my single shimmers. And I've been enjoying that a lot. And I love how this is laid out. It's a perfect companion palette for me. This creamy white is perfect for my inner corner if I want a matte inner corner. Of course, there's a matte black. There's 3 different browns in varying depth that I can use in my crease. It's just a really good travel palette that's kind of filling in the blanks for any palettes that I might take with me traveling. But of course, I can just create a look with this and then a shimmer on the lid, or I can just create an all matte look. I've done that with this as well. It's very, very good. It's a very good product for me in my collection, especially when I'm traveling. I would say, I know I said everything like is not ranked here, but I will say this is the last product in the top category, and it is, I'm obsessed. And I don't say that lightly. Okay, well, you can see I've used almost all of this. So this is from the brand Self-Made. I got this actually when I went to New Orleans last year for Creators and Friends. So this is over a year old, and I leave all of my like skincare body products underneath my bathroom sink. I have so many of them. They build up, especially when I went to New Orleans. They give us a lot of products, and I had never heard of this brand. I'd never heard of this product. So I kind of just put it in the back, and then I eventually got to that part of the drawer or part of the cabinet, and I pulled it out and I started using it, and I love this. Let me tell you what it is. So this is called the Secure Attachment Comfort Serum. It is a serum. Like, there's not much really explanation on here. I'm gonna pull up their website because I did see they had a really nice, I started using this without even reading what it was supposed to be. I was just putting it on my face. It is the most beautiful hydrating serum. I put this on after I get out of the shower. Now I have, I would say, about normal skin. I can run oily, I can run dry, but I live in the normal range, but I am very acne prone. I break out very easily. This does not break me out, and a lot of overly hydrating products do tend to break me out. They clog my pores. This gives hydration. It gives like almost like a glass-like look to the face without feeling greasy, without breaking me out. I wear it when I'm not wearing makeup. I wear it underneath makeup as my hydrating base. It acts almost like a gripping primer, but without being sticky. It is, oh, they have it on Amazon. That's exciting. I didn't realize that. Oh, it won Vogue's Best New Serum. I'm not surprised. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Self-Made because I also really love their body scrub, but it's been sold out for a really long time, so that makes me sad. Okay, so this is called the Secure Attachment Comfort Serum Plus. Strengthens your skin barrier with every use, re-regulates skin's response to emotional stress, calms sensitivity, redness, and irritation, hydrates, grips, and smooths for skin that stays grounded under makeup, stimulates beta endorphins, your body's natural painkiller, to help your skin feel safe, not reactive. So I don't know if I believe all of that stuff, I'll be honest with you, but it hydrates and grips and soothes. That is exactly what it does. It provides a beautiful hydrating base for underneath makeup. It doesn't have a scent. It has like a fresh, almost like a spa skincare scent. It's very, very pleasant. It's not overly scented, but I can't recommend this enough if you're looking for something like that. It just like makes your skin feel soft and I'm so mad it took me so long to use this. And now I'm almost done and I'm about to order another one on Amazon. That's happening. All right, I am in a rush. This is supposed to be speed reviews. I have to leave my house very soon and I still have a lot of products to talk about. So we're gonna move straight along. So I want to talk about the Game Beauty Street Fighter 6 collection. I've already talked about the eyeshadow palette. I already talked about the single shadows. I put them in my best of the year so far because the single shadows are, in my opinion, the standout of the collection. They're very, very metallic, very wet looking, shifty, all of that, really stunning. Now I have the rest of the products that they sent me, which are the stick highlighter, the stick blushes, and the lipsticks. So the blushes I actually really like. This one is a red one. I love a red blush. They blend out easily. They're not overly pigmented. I tend to go in with a brush onto the stick, then onto my cheeks. I don't ever draw them onto my face, and I feel like the pigment is really nice. The colors are really nice. This highlighter is definitely more of a Lit From Within glow, a little more sparkly pink called Manon. Great, good products, and these lipsticks, one of them broke. This one's broken, like completely. The lipstick is about to fall out. And they are both red. One's more orange leaning, one is more like deep brick red. The only reason I'm putting this kind of down here is I don't like this packaging. It's very, very cheap plastic. It feels cheap. It feels like Wet n Wild. Like I'm about to break this if I put it in my purse. I would definitely not be traveling with these in my purse because I feel like they would just be falling apart. So it's the packaging that I don't love. The products are good. I mean, I don't really wear matte bullet lipsticks in reds very often, but they're nice lipsticks. Like they feel creamy, they don't feel dry, they glide on nicely, they're not tuggy. The cheek products are good, I just don't like the packaging. This product is a weird one for me. I almost didn't include it because I kind of don't really know how I feel about it, but I've used it so much and I don't know if I'm ever gonna really know how I feel about it. At this point, if I don't know now, I don't know if I'm ever gonna know. And that is the Haus Labs Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer in the shade Bronzed Umber Light. Packaging, 10 out of 10. Extremely luxurious, weighted, has like a soft matte touch. It has shiny bronze details, and the packaging and presentation is beautiful. Now it is quite pricey, so I'm happy to see that. This product is so weird. Like if you touch it with your fingers, it feels very creamy, but it is also very powdery at the same time. Like it kicks up a lot in the pan and it applies kind of like a cream and a powder hybrid, but in a weird way. It's not like bound together like a cream, but it's not super fluffy like a powder. I like it. I actually, when I use it, I enjoy how it looks on the face, but it is a very strange texture. I don't absolutely love the tone of this. I do feel maybe it's a little too cool toned for me. It looks a little kind of gray on my face, but that's also maybe just my fault for buying this shade. But it is a very unique texture that I like, but I'm not loving. I'm not wanting to reach for it all the time. I am reaching for it simply to review it because I'm like, I still don't know how I feel about this. Let me try it again. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this. Packaging is absolutely gorgeous though. Like I've said 1,000 times now. Next up, I have the Maybelline. This is the Glaze Oil Balm. Okay, really beautiful. One of these like glossy stick balm oil hybrids that every brand is doing. I think this color is Caramel Glow. Stunning. It's like a warm, rosy neutral, which I personally love. Again, the reason it's not on the top is I don't like this packaging. It's very, very, very cheap looking, feeling much cheaper than I've experienced from Maybelline in the past. I mean, I haven't bought a Maybelline lip product in a long time, but I remember their packaging being pretty good for the drugstore. And this is very cheap. Again, I don't know how safe I would feel putting this in my purse. Like it would open in my purse and get everywhere. And the scent is interesting. I can smell a sweetness, but I can also smell a very strong lipstick scent, if you know what I mean. Not awful, but I prefer other brands' version of this more, but I still really like it. Now I have another Morphe product to talk about. This is their cream blush. This is the Euphoric Rush 3-in-1 Silk Blush in the shade Hypnotized. Of course, I've used it now, so you can't see it as much, but it is a swirled cream blush where we have pigment, and then in the other swirls is almost like a balm. This is a really beautiful product. It is just a little too pigmented for me. It's extremely pigmented. Now, it might be the shade that I chose, but I have to be very careful with it. It definitely adds a lot of color to my cheeks. It's very opaque. It's very dewy. I do like it, but I just prefer the other blushes I talked about where it's a little bit easier to use and I don't have to be so careful. Something to just kind of mention, and I'm putting this here because I kind of don't really know where else to put it. I have the SpongeBob and Wet n Wild Kelp Shake Setting Mist. I've been reaching for this a lot. It is a very strong sprayer and it sprays out. So this is what I use when I'm like not wanting to manipulate the finish of my makeup too much. I don't feel like it really makes my makeup dewy. I don't feel like it makes it matte, but I do like to put this on before I put on a highlighter that's going to fluff everywhere, or if I feel like maybe I put on too much powder, this just kind of helps the powders sink in. The scent is pleasant. I don't feel like it's overly scented, and I just love SpongeBob. So like looking at this makes me very happy. So it's good. Like it's not doing anything to change my life, but if you are wondering about it, I would say just be warned, it is a very large and strong spraying mist. It doesn't have an overly scented finish. It doesn't make the finish of your makeup really manipulate, at least for me, but it's a good one. If you like SpongeBob, it's kind of a good little merch item to get. Okay, so I've been testing the Maybelline Colossal Bubble Mascara. I've been using the one in, not this one, Very Black. Man, the writing is so small on these. And I will say, I love how this makes my lashes look. They look long, they look full, and I have awful baby lashes that grow straight down. They're sparse. They're not good. But I feel like this does something for me. But I will say the reason this is coming down here and not on the top is it is extremely hard to remove. Extremely hard to remove. It ends up like when I rub my eyes with my cleansing balm, it gets all like raccoon eyes. All over my eyelids, all under my eyes. Even if I double cleanse, like it will not come off my eyes. I've never experienced that before. It doesn't actually stay on my eyelashes. It gets onto my eyes. Very weird. It is maybe just like somewhat resistant to cleansing balms, cleansing cleansers. But I mean, I like how it looks. And maybe if the removal process doesn't matter to you, you would like it too, but it's just a little bit, I just don't like to overly scrub my eyes if I don't have to. This pains me to put this here, but I have to do it. This is the Glamlite Lord of the Rings, the One Ring Highlighter. I will never get rid of this. This is my favorite makeup product I think I've ever seen in my life, presentation-wise. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and this packaging on this is everything. Listen, you know, if you saw my video where I used this collection, you know. You know how I feel about this. The tin with Gollum and the ring and the... I'm sorry, this is the most beautiful highlighter I've ever seen in my life. Even like the actual highlighter is so beautiful, but it does not really work for my skin tone. I feel like it's going to best suit somebody with a deeper skin tone because this gives a very strong dark cast on my cheeks when I'm looking forward. I did wear this in a video recently and I was looking at myself in the monitor and I was like, why do I look like that? And then I was kind of looking around and I was like, oh, because you can see a big shadow on my cheek where I put this. That's the only reason. I just wish it didn't have a dark base. But I will say, I'm glad that there are some options out there for deeper skin tones that have a darker base. And if that's something that you're looking for, I would suggest this, but it is still staying pretty high in my speed reviews because of the packaging and the presentation. I'm biased, I have to say it. The last product in this category I want to talk about is the Revie Beauty Easy Everyday Brow Pencil. I have mine in the shade dark brown. The color dark brown works beautiful for me. Revie Beauty is a influencer-owned brand by Allie Glines, and she did send this to me in PR, so thank you so much, Allie. I really appreciate it. I like this product. I think this has a place in the market, and I think it's unique. But for my preferences, it's not perfect. So we have a spoolie on one side. Ooh, I need to calm down. And then we have the pencil on the other. Now, of course, that's usually how brow pencils work. But the thing about this that is very unique is this tip is extremely small. So if you are someone who is looking for a brow pencil with a very small tip, I think you would probably really enjoy this. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate why it's there for people that want to get those like individual strokes of hair. I would say this is more leaning on the creamy side. I don't think it's overly creamy, but it's definitely more on the creamy side, which I appreciate. I'd rather a brow pencil be a little more on the creamy side than the stiff side. But I will say I have pretty full brows and I don't need something this small. I feel like it takes me longer than necessary to do my brows when I use this. That's just my opinion. That's the only thing I have to say about it. But for most people, but for some people that want those individual like strokes, I would definitely suggest this. It just takes me a little longer than some of my other brow pencils. All right, now we're in the meh category. And the first thing I want to talk about is the Adventure Time and Lethal Cosmetics Gloss and Jake the Dog. This one specifically. I actually really like how this looks on the lips. I think it's really pretty. It has like a shift of like yellow, pink, green, and I think it's subtle enough for me. I am not someone who, apart from today, who wears like very bright, colorful makeup. I don't really love a sparkly lip or a shifting lip or something like that. It's just not in my preference. It's not something I'm gonna reach for, but I do feel like this one is, quote, wearable for me. More wearable than a lot of these products are. I love the little silicone like topper on it. I think it's so cute. Now, I've never seen the show, so I don't know. I also don't love that it's a brush tip applicator. Not my favorite for a lip product. And there is no scent, which is a downside. But I do think like the actual look of it is really pretty and really fun and unique to my collection. This next product, again, this is all preference. There's not really much else to say besides I just don't like waterproof mascaras. So this is the Wet n Wild SpongeBob Splash On Mascara. It is waterproof. So I did wear this a few times, and just like most waterproof mascaras, you really gotta scrub to get this off your lashes. And even when you do that, it's still sticking around the next day. Not my favorite thing in the world, but that's okay. Yeah, I mean, as in terms of how it looks on my lashes, it looks pretty good. It gives me some volume, it gives me some length, but I just don't love a waterproof mascara, so that's why it's going here. It's not the worst mascara I've ever used. Like, I do feel like it does something for my lashes, at least. But for me personally, not something that I'll be using. And actually, I did use this on my lower lashes today because I am going to be wearing this all day, all night. I am going to be performing. So like, I don't mind using it on my lower lashes. I don't really suffer from like mascara running because I don't really have eyelashes. So, but I like to use it just so it stays on my lower lash line all day, but definitely on my upper lash line, it's very hard to remove. So the next thing in this category I want to mention are the Lethal Cosmetics Pixeled Lip Glosses. Again, these are not in my preference. I don't really wear a holographic lip product like this, but I will say for what they are, I do think they're fun. I do think they're unique in the space. You can actually really see the holographic pigments. You can really see the shift, and I think the black one is really fun. This is actually one that I'm like, yeah, I can appreciate this. Will I wear these? Probably not. It's gonna be a rare occasion I would wear something like this. They feel a little sticky on the lips, but I can see why, because if they were just like an oil-based or like very slick gloss, they would come off your lips very quickly, and I don't think that's the point. Like, the point is you want it to look like this on your lips for an extended time. So I understand why it is a little more sticky, but it's just not a product that I'm really reaching for. But if you're looking for something like this, if this is something that you would use, if this is something you want to use for like a special like occasion, like a Halloween costume or like going out on the weekend, which, you know, I don't really do that. I get what these are for. I appreciate them, but they're just not products I'm really reaching for. I hate to keep talking about Lethal Cosmetics, but I do have two more products to talk about them in the it's gonna be a no for me dog category. So 2 misses for me, they just didn't work out. So the first one is the other gloss that's in the Lethal Cosmetics and Adventure Time collection. This one is Finn the Human. This is, I don't feel like works the same as this one. This one is a little more sheer, jelly. The sparkle kind of particles fill out and spread on the lips. This looks very chunky on the lips. I could not get this to spread out in an even layer, and it just kind of looked like goopy kind of spots of glitter particles. I didn't like how this looked on my lips. I didn't like how this looked. It did not look smooth. It didn't look glossy. It looked like I put chunks of glitter in the middle of my lips. Not for me. And then the other product I want to talk about is the Marceline Cream Blush. If you watched my Adventure Time video, you know. So this is it looks black in the pan. It ends up turning very purple, but you don't really see it right away. It's one of those like kind of pH adjusting where over time it gets more and more and more and more pigmented. I don't like products like that, especially cheek products, because while I'm applying it, I have absolutely no idea how it's going to look 5 minutes from now. And so I'm not really sure how to go about it. I don't know where I'm putting it. I don't see the actual color payoff. And it gets very purple. It looked like a bruise on me, and it's not a color I'll wear. I don't like the application. I don't recommend this. I really don't. It's a cute idea. It's fun, but like not functional in my opinion. All right, and that is it for all the products that I wanted to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you've used any of these, what are your thoughts on them? Are there any things in this video that I talked about you're eyeing, you're thinking about, or are there things that I talked about today that you're glad that you skipped on? Let me know, and I will talk to you soon in another video. Bye.